So last night at the PlayStation State of Play event, Ghost of Yotei was revealed and it will be dropping just next year in 2025. And this very well could be Ubisoft's worst nightmare. Now, in case you haven't heard, there is a rumor going around right now that Assassin's Creed Shadows will be delayed for 2025. Again, this is only a rumor, this is not confirmed, and this rumor stemmed from the other day when Ubisoft was meant to be, I think, a Tokyo press game show sort of thing, and a few days before, they pulled out of this, and not only that, but they stopped it from journalists getting their hands on the previews for this game. And it's just very, very weird that this would happen when we're so close to the release of this game. The release is meant to be in November, and if you can't let, previews happen, well, then there's something definitely going on behind the scenes. And I can't stress this enough, it is a rumor, just a rumor, nothing confirmed. But if this rumor turns out to be true, and Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out in 2025, the same year that Ghost of Yotei comes out, then they might be in a bit of trouble. Because I remember when Ghost of Tsushima dropped back in 2020, 4 years ago, and people were saying this is what an Assassin's Creed Japan game would be like. At this point, we didn't know what Assassin's Creed Shadow was, and people were saying, oh, this is what Assassin's Creed Japan would pretty much be like. Obviously, a much more polished and better version of something you'd get from Ubisoft in recent years, at least. A decent story, great combat gameplay, great visuals, great exploration, great customization. The stealth was a bit, not the best. But mostly people are like, oh well, this is how it will be pretty much done. And then Assassin's Creed, after a few years, finally caved into people wanting an Assassin's Creed Japan game. I remember I've been a fan of the Assassin's Creed games since it came back out in 2007 or 8, I believe, of number 1 with Altair. And people are always asking for Assassin's Creed Japan. And finally, fast forward all these years later, we're finally going to get it. And it might go to shit, because why would people get Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game when, Ubisoft, again, with Star Wars Outlaws, hasn't had the best of press, and people are getting quite tired of the same game with Ubisoft when it comes to an Assassin's Creed franchise, quite repetitive at this point, quite bloated. They're coming back with Assassin's Creed Shadows, but why would people get it if they know Ghost of Tsushima is a fucking great game, and Ghost of Yotei is probably going to follow that same blueprint and go along with it and make some enhancements and make it even better possibly? So why would people spend money on Assassin's Creed Shadows instead? Don't get me wrong, it can happen, but I feel like this is a real shot in the foot for Ubisoft. And even if the rumor isn't true, I do feel like the hype of Ghost of Yotei is going to play a negative effect in Assassin's Creed Shadows sales. I'm not saying that it's going to flop. I believe Assassin's Creed, whatever it is, Assassin's Creed, I don't know, whatever the setting may be, I feel like Assassin's Creed is always guaranteed to succeed. It's got such a big fan base. You got people who love the proper original Assassin's Creed stuff, a lot more linear, and you got the people who love the more newer Assassin's Creed games, like the RPG lot. I only liked Origins out of the RPG lot, but there's a big fan base out there who love Valhalla and Odyssey. But I feel like it would always do well, but I do feel like this will have a negative effect on the game, and it's kind of put Ubisoft in a corner, in my opinion, because it's like, yeah, you could release it. Say if the rumor is true, yeah, you might now want to rush to get your game out there, but if you do that, it's going to be buggy. It's going to affect the reviews, it's going to affect sales. Maybe a lot of people won't want to buy the game then. So I just feel like Ubisoft kind of backed in a corner at this point, and I don't know what they're going to do. And honestly, I do feel like this would be a different conversation if Star Wars Outlaws did amazing, was getting 9 out of 10s across the board, maybe 10 out of 10s, this unreal Star Wars experience. But that wasn't the case, and it just turned out to be a typical Ubisoft game, unfortunately for Ubisoft. So now there's a lot of pressure on them right now. I know Ubisoft are currently down in the dumps a bit. I know the company isn't doing its best. I think it's at one of its lowest times. So it really is banking on Assassin's Creed Shadows to get them out of this little rut that they found themselves in. and Ghost of Yotei really won't help them in the slightest. You've also got to factor in there'll be a big portion of people out there who are involved in the controversy, you know, with the whole thing to do with Assassin's Creed Shadows and the protagonist and people not wanting to play as Yasuke because apparently he's not a real samurai, whatever it may be. That is a big portion right there gone. There's a lot of people who weren't happy that Yasuke was going to be one of the two playable protagonists in this game. You know, I can't really remember. It was more when the trailer dropped very a few months back. But, you know, that also adds to this. So, again, they're kind of in a really sticky situation. But I am curious in what Ubisoft's next moves are going to be, as they are going to be very important for what happens with Assassin's Creed Shadows. You know, you got loads of people excited for Ghost of Yotei, including myself. And I think there's going to be a lot of people like myself who are more excited for Ghost of Yotei rather than Assassin's Creed Shadows. But I'm still somewhat excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Don't get me wrong, the Star Wars Outlaw, the whole thing that went on there, it has knocked my excitement back a bit. Now, I'm not someone who's played that game, but I don't pick up every Ubisoft game because a lot of them just don't scream out to me anymore. And I got a bit sick of how repetitive their games became, and the quality drops off a cliff, in my opinion. And now it has knocked me excitement back for Assassin's Creed Shadows, but I'm still willing to give it a go. I'm still excited for the game, just not as much as I originally was. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that Ghost of Yotei can affect Assassin's Creed Shadows, and do you believe the same as me that it may be Ubisoft's worst nightmare? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.